Hope all y'all don't mind too much. I mean, I guess I could do something. I think I could do the procs. Do that, and then part 2. Do that. Not bad. Like, it is really noisy for me, but like, you guys can read that just fine. I don't know. Like, I like having B-top as a thing, because I just like having stuff and stuff. Yeah, so something that I wanted to show you is 063. Down here, I fixed, and your girl's a dumbass. So there's that. So it says here, please return this food from the loop. Yeah, you just break food. So. Breakfast. Okay, so. Yeah. Now. Yeah, I could have sworn that there's a way to do it from, like, the buffer. There should be, like, a way to do it from, like, the buffer thing. And I should probably put in my headphones again. Rather than this being loud as fuck. Okay. Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it on. Turn it on. What do you mean? There we go. So I think, yeah, Helix editor. Helix editor. Close buffer from buffer picker. Oh yeah, GNGP. Yeah, BCO. I don't know, there's a few things, right? Select. Nothing selected. Okay. So yeah, your girl's dumbass. Let's take a look at this. What is it? Error expected type expression found, semicolon, const expected result. Okay, so here we have we're taking a look at things like intcast and int from enum. So int from enum is how you get an integer from an enum. Who would have thunk? So there's, oh yeah, there's a few different types that my wrist really fucking hurts. Wow, this shit sucks, dude. I need to do something about that. I need a better way of having better ergonomics on my shit. Because I think that's like either arthritis or carpal tunnel, which is fucking super sweet. Oh, I love being 35. It's great. True, false. Um. Yeah, I know where the overflow is. Ah. My result. Add with overflow. What the fuck do you mean with overflow? What does add with overflow return? Is there any type struct type of A, B you want? The return value is a tuple. The results in a possible overflow. Okay. So because you have add with overflow, you can chain those and do a ripple carry. Alright. Ripple carry is how actual silicon works. Because you can't implement a cancel carry like you can with Minecraft Redstone. Cancel carry is fucking fascinating, right? It stems from the fact that you can make redstone highly directional without any loss of throughput. Well, you can make it highly directional without any latency, right? With actual silicon, if you put in a diode, right? If you put in a diode, you end up introducing latency because it takes time for the current to pass through a diode, right? That's something that is, you know, that's pretty like that is fundamental to that shit is fundamental to the doodly doo the doodly doo, right? But anyway, so add with overflow gives you a tuple. So yeah, a U8. I mean, A plus B. But I'm just saying. Cheating. But let's do for the sake of the exercise, let's math this shit out. So OX it should be, well, the first one is A is 5 plus 8 is 13. So D that is D. Oh right, yeah. So it's D plus 5. Well, that's 13 plus 5. right? Which is 18, which is 16 plus 2. So it'd be 0, 0, 0, 0. Yeah, so it'd be 12. Which is OB 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 0. 1, 2, 1, 0. Or 8, right? So yeah, that's what is to be expected. So we should see 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0 is what my expectation is. I'm just letting the computer do the calculation because why the fuck should I do a bunch of extra work when I don't have to? Okay. A lot of these things are like the whole point of having immutability is to allow the compiler to work. Right. That's a philosophy that I also want with Princeton. Is the compiler should be doing as much work as possible. Right. So that's just a little bit of a mental exercise there. Without overflow, there. A bit more. A bit reverse. I found one. Right. Overflow of integer type 4. U4 with 18, with value 18. Okay, so it did turn out. Okay. I forgot to sterilize. Because it overflowed. Alright. So I should do a typecast. Bit const int text. Yeah, int text. U plus int cast U8. Huh? Nande? What do you mean I can't do? What the fuck are you going on about? Because no. So this is something that's going to irritate me. Alright, because I want to... Because I really don't like the fact that I can't just... It's... Because, like, it's really, really difficult. Like, this is really, really hard to use, typecasting. Right? Because I would do, like, a U8 here. And then wait. Here. Alright, like, can you do this? Is this how you do typecasting? Ah. Mm. Okay. Let's see if there's a compiler. Type, not a function. Okay. So how do you fucking do casting? Like, how do you do... How do you do typecasting instead? Because if I can't do typecasting, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. Can I? Yeet my whole fucking phone. Goddamn. Excuse me? It's not what I fucking asked for. Okay. Firefox. Typecasting in Zig. I need to... Typecasting in Zig. How do you do? How do you typecast? Yeah, widening. Pointer cast. Like, yeah, but how does this shit fucking work, though? And converting... Convert a larger float to a smaller float. Okay, so... I'm guessing... Because, like, I want to widen. Because, like, I could do, like, a whole fucking thing. If I wanted to. But since I'm guessing that since... Right. So because these are, Alright, you ate. Alright, because I want to do this, right, as... Alright. This is... Ow, my fucking wrist, dude. Converts between integer types. If the value does not fit in the target type, it triggers safety check. What? How do you declare the target type, though? Alright. So this should work, right? Yeah. Yeah, I gotta blow my nose. I mean, I feel like I jumped ahead a little bit. I think they're expecting me to hard code that shit. But, it's fine. Yeah. It doesn't actually matter all that much. I'm a smart cookie. I'm a smart fella, better than a fart schneller. Um, what the fuck am I doing anyway? Alright. Alright. Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool. 65. 65. Alright, let's go back in the order. And now 65. Built-ins, log, square root, sine, cos. Eh? check out all compile log embed file and src. Any introspection those. This returns the innermost struct enum or unum or union that a function I don't understand. Oh, I forgot that I could just move my mouse off screen if I want to. And just, whoops. I can't leave the me and myself fields undefined. Narcissus. Hey. Okay. I feel like shots are getting called out here. Someone like speedrunners. Come on, Rust. Don't be doing this to me. Because I don't know if I don't know if drawing would be any better. I'm just in a lot of fucking pain. I mean, I would like to go for at least a couple hours, you know? Um, God. Tomorrow's gonna be a little rough. Maximum narcissism. The narcissism. Wait, what? Wonder. Money? Wait, what's that fucking function? Oh, it's down here. See, this is why I don't like this shit. I'm just like, oh, here's a function that I haven't seen yet. Like, we don't read code from bottom up, we read code from top down. I'm not going to be doing that shit. Like, one of the things that having like hoisting be a thing for though is like, I don't know, because there's like cyclic systems and stuff like that. Like if you want function A to call function B and function B to call function A, this is a thing that should be allowed. Right? But if I do a preprocessor, if I do like an at raise, right, or a hash raise, something like that, that is something that might be interesting. Right. And I am going to use the same conventions of ampersand is reference, like ampersand is the address of, and I think I am going to do at be a reference to something, or like ref, something along those lines. Perhaps. I'll think about it. Maybe percent. Yeah. Yeah, my elbow hurts, my wrist hurts, everything fucking hurts. Um, default value. Default value pointer. Fields is a slice of struct fields. Here's the declaration. Const any opaque is comp time. Cool. Comp time int. Mm. That fields. The fields is a struct fields. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Trying to deal with this, right? So fields. Oh, fields dot type. I mean, it, whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of features in Zig that I really like. I really don't know how it handles type safety, like a memory safety or some stuff. I don't know what its memory management protocol is. Because I think it is largely like manual. But it gives you a lot of tools to trace problems, right? Mm. No field of member name function named declared here. Fetch most beautiful type. None. Maximum fetch. When calling this function, we call it as a method, which would work if it had a self parameter, but it doesn't. See below. Right, because it's asking for a type. Um, mhm, because I don't need it. It's a member of the narcissist. Struct. Part of the narcissist class. Well, it's not a class. It's a struct. There's no inheritance or anything like that. I don't know if there's inheritance at all. In Zig, we haven't gotten to it yet. It would be nice if there was at least some level of inheritance, because inheritance is very, very, very powerful, especially in game development. The reason why object-oriented programming kind of dominates in the games industry is because it's very natural to think of things as is to think of objects as subsets of other types as subsets of types, right? But there's an actual, right, and you can fully map any relation graph as a hierarchy, right? As subsets of subsets. The issue is that as a game gets more and more complex, you get deeper and deeper nesting of inheritance, right? Which inheritance is most powerful when you have a wide inheritance tree rather than a deep inheritance tree. So that's why we have entity component systems. Entity component systems also avoid the need for virtual functions, which, to be fair, is usually fine, right? Virtual functions are fine in the vast majority of cases. Unreal Engine uses virtual functions. That's not why it runs like a fucking turd shitter, but a lot of it is because people have an over-reliance on blueprints. Blueprint graphs are only supposed to be 1, maybe 2 screens big, right? If you are sweeping all over your blueprints graph, it's probably time to switch over to C++, right? I mean, to see an example of how Unreal Engine can be performant, you can take a look at Fortnite. It runs flawlessly on mobile, and a lot of that is because the engineers behind that particular project are working towards optimizing it so that it can be run on a fucking cell phone. Right. So that is an important feature, and a lot of that is because they quickly block out ideas in blueprints, and then they use those blueprints as a framework to then convert into C++. Right. The designers work in blueprints, the engineers work in C++. And that's great for larger groups of people, when you have a separation between designers and designers and engineers, because then you can have your level editors, your artists, and all that stuff kind of they have a focus, right? You have a focus, but you have access to all the other disciplines. Because there's a lot of times when an artist is like, I really need to see this like in game, right? I need to see this animation in game, and it's very powerful to just be able to throw it into the engine, into one of the scenes that you have in your project, graph out, skitty out, like a noodle out a fucking blueprint graph real quick to have some basic, fucking functionality real quick, and then be good. Like, that's why it's to make a first-person shooter or a third-person shooter in Unreal Engine with blueprints takes like an afternoon to get all the functionality out, and then the entire rest of the game is asset creation. Like, you can get a basic like blueprint-driven like third-person shooter done in Unreal Engine in literally an afternoon. Right? It takes like zero fucking effort to do. Largely because there's a lot of functionality and stuff that's already like baked in, and things like that. And you also have access to, like, even from like a blank project, it would not take very long to make a third-person shooter in Unreal. And that's largely the reason why you see a lot of these assets and asset store swap garbage be created in Unreal Engine, just because it's an engine that's already built for it, right? If I want to make Minecraft, I'll spool up my own engine. If I want to make Call of Duty, I'm just fucking using Unreal Engine. And this is someone who's planning on writing their own fucking programming language, right? So it just depends. Like you use, it's most important. It is more important to use the tools, the right tool for the job, than it is to use the best tool, quote unquote, right? Because there is no best tool. That's a fallacy. That doesn't fucking exist, right? Because the whole concept of a best tool is something that, fundamentally isn't something that actually, like, it's not not a thing. um there is no best tool. There is a best tool for you for a project. Use that. But what that tool is for you maybe is almost surely different from it. That's also kind of why I'm doing a lot of like exploration into Zig, into other things. So we have okay. So Zig is very very Lua. Because if I did something like self, like a self narcissist, right? Something like that. I forgot how to do the do. Yeah, it's like the self field. I'm sure we'll get into structs more later. But I don't think we did structs, right? Oh, we did do structs. Fuck. Only two? 80. I have anonymous structs. If I go to here again, right, because it's it also allows us to treat the value as a single item when storing them. Passing them to values, etc. This exercise demonstrates that we can store structs in an array, and how doing so lets us print them. Yeah, I know that. What is it, 37? Being able to group values together lets us turn this into 1.2, yeah. Nande. And what about methods? What? Functions to functions, I think. Okay. already had defer, unreachable, and struct. Oh, methods, there we go. Let's go into here and take a look at this, right? So structs become a namespace, which is kind of important, right? And a lot of it is like tear down logic stuff. But a lot of things are probably going to escape. Now, one of the things that I want to do is I would prefer, right? Is like a lot of these things are, like functions are weird because there's kind of like a dual property to them. The idea of returning a value is the point of functions is to collapse logic into a value, right? And a lot of functions can be basically done at well, not a lot can be done at comp time. That's the whole reason why you have functions at the beginning. Is because they are runtime functions, right? So let's see here. What is it? So self. Yeah, public function, self, right? Yeah. It doesn't need to be self. Can it be this? Okay. So here it would be because here, if we wanted to, we could do this, right? And then use function parameter. Oh. I would have to do this, right? Which is an indication that it probably shouldn't be. This will work, right? This will compile and all that. But this is an indicator that you're probably doing something, right? Because if all paths lead to this, then like, what do you know? Right. So I could do positional stuff like that. I do like the idea of having a self thing and things like that. Because technically speaking, that is literally how these things work. You're passing in that object as a reference, right? You are referencing that object. This, right? And there's a lot of like you have to pass it in as a parameter, as an argument, because on the silicon that's what's happening. And C and C++ kind of abstract that away, which isn't super good. Um, hmm. Okay. Next. I think that should be 66. Um, okay, Woodman. So we're looking at comp time. Is a program's environment while it is being compiled. In contrast, runtime is the environment while compiled the program is executed. Traditionally, as machine code on a hardware. Here's making an easy example. Compile time errors caught by the compiler, usually resulting in a message to the program. Runtime, either caught by the running program itself or by the host hardware or operating system. Could be gracefully caught and handled, or could cause the computer to crash or halt in cache fire. Yeah. The symbol table. Because that's something that needs to be built. Right. And there are like certain things it can do. And like that's another thing that I'm curious to see if having the JIT really that important. Right. Is having the JIT really that important? Because I also need to figure out how to make it so that it is a JIT that will compile and run the intermediate code, the IR, the wire. The tungsten intermediate representation executable. Right? We have the wire. Is that something that I actually want to keep? I really wish that I had some people that I could just fucking talk to at some point about this. Like, bounce ideas off of like another fucking human being, preferably one who knows their shit. Because I really don't want to turn to AI for this. Like, I could, but like it's just getting worse and worse every day. Like, it's literally getting more and more useless. Um, the knee-jerk reaction to always confirm, always say yes to everything, to be a yes man, is it's fucking infuriating. It's so infuriating. So, because it's not productive. Yes men are not productive. And anyone who wants yes men is just fucking stroking their own goddamn ego. This is masturbatory. Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Or type comp time if or comp time flip. And so we don't have to specify a size like U8 or I32 or F64 when we assign identifier mutability immutably with const. When we use these identifiers in a program, the values are inserted at compile time into the executable code. The identifiers don't exist in our compiled application. Yeah, it literally removes all that. That's a lot of the same kind of thing that I want to do. Right. And these are like calculated to be. Yeah. I mean, the ink be a U16. Yeah. Or yeah, I could do U16. I could do U16 here, and then I can do an F32. Alright, I think I could do an F16 here, but oh, 65,530. Yeah, okay. 32 because later this breaks it. Oh, technically no. It's 65535. So I could do it all the way down to 16. If not, I'm gonna try it to be the smallest. See what happens. Right. It's probably gonna throw an error because it's supposed to be. It's expecting a U32. But it does compile. Alright. Because the only thing that's different is the actual type. Your favorite stuffed animal until it sinks in completely. No, I already got it. I just wanted to prove a point. Because I can also do U24. Right? But going on to the next one. Oh, 7. Right. Up time. Up time. Var. Mutable identifiers declared to be var. And runtime type. So yeah, it's gonna say compound. Modify this variable at runtime. It must be given an explicit fixed size. Variable of type compound. It must be constant or compound. So all that we need to do here is just say, hey, yeah, because Q closes the window, it doesn't close the buffer. Right. Closes the tab. Closes the whole ass fucking window. Because there's also tabs. So I do want tabs buffers on Windows, right? Windows, and it's more tabs are containers for Windows. Windows are containers for buffers. Alright, if I have that kind of logic, then it makes it very easy to have like tabs. So you can also like switch it. I think certain things would be like really nice for all that. Like I don't know if it's like normal mode and yeah. So like here it's like firewall. You could do like G. Right. Go to last notification. I don't understand. Yeah, okay. That's also helpful. Yeah. Also being able to move a whole fucking line. Oh, so nice. Being able to just bump lines up and down is really, really neat. That's something I really want to do. That's the functionality that I want. Okay. So one of the things is okay. Moving on to the next part. Let's see. Sometime to A, B, B, C, C, D, D. Sometime. Alright. See. Go back to the folder. Sometime 30. GG. Local variable is never mutated. stdir contains a complete format string parser that runs entirely at compile time. Uptime format. Yeah, it must be compile time known. Must be known at compile time. Must be compile time knowable. Alright. That's kind of what it's saying right here. Strict as model scale scale have scale 32 scale me. runtime, we turn this into a compiler. Okay. My scale is 2. Local variable is never limited. Yeah. On. Hmm? Local variable was never mutated. So, because it should never be mutated. Okay. Um, okay. Oh, so we have these, right? Wait, what do you mean? Monday? Oh, I had break. I should probably... Hello? Schooner. Yeah, because the comp time error, the compile time error, I mean, it's gonna throw it, right? It's just that the mismatch. We're probably gonna be learning about this situation up here at some point, right? Because if it's never changed, and if it can never change, more importantly, if it can never change, that's another thing. Is that I don't know if I think so. I understand the ideology there, right? Like I understand how the point of it is to have um mm, There's just kind of like a lot of things that I need to fucking figure out. Alright, yeah. Oh. Mm-hmm. It just can be found in backwards the package. Okay. So this is probably gonna throw another. Yeah. Unable to resolve compile time value. Grammar declared compound. So it depends on whether or not it's going to be compile time or not. Right? Because unless we are, because we're hard coding things. Right. There does need to be a runtime. If there was no runtime, there'd be no there'd be no program. I don't have any requests there. Damn, I did a good job at that though. Oh. Hold on. Do I have sudo vpn install -y int super secret password. Escape not found in repository school. What? Fuck. Is it a flat pack? Do I have Inkscape? Graphics. I don't. Converter. Desktop fonts. Font awesome. Forge. SVG rendering library written in Rust. PHP 5. Python, Perl. Papyrus icon thing. Hey, Vantom. Hmm. Da, 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 da. I press icon. There we go. Because I do want Papyrus anyway. There's the other one that I want. Like, I mean, I do want to do like a whole thing. Oh wait, but that's the icon thing, not cursor thing. Shit. It's just the icon thing. It's not the cursor thing. Fuck. Right, whatever. Because I do want I want Inkscape. I want to get Inkscape. I'll need to look into it. Well, yeah. Take a look here. Do a little bit of digging for a sec here. SVG editor. It's gonna be like Inkscape. It's gonna be and web-based. Epoxy SVG. Powerful free and open source tool widely considered as the standard for effective graphics. LibreOffice Draw. Raster and vector type. Allowing procedural design. Graphite. I mean, I could take a look at Graphite. Low-level vector graphics that are for all major desktop platforms. .svg. Oxy. Dia. Inkscape. Sadi Potty. Gravit. So LibreOffice Draw has, I think I have LibreOffice Draw. Right. I have LibreSprite. I don't have LibreOffice. I just have Ocular, so I don't have LibreOffice. I should probably get that. Maybe. Anyway, I need to focus on it. My shit. Stretch, stretch, every stretch, every stretch. Yeah, what would let us do the do? Alright, it's saying that we're not, right, scale is not a, is not a thing. So scale equals 32, this is a comp time. Right, up here we have a comp time bar. But it's not, yeah, but we have to change it. If it was a const, then you wouldn't be able to do that shit. There's like a, I don't like how comp time int is a completely separate idea. It should just be comp time int. Like it's an adjective. It's, you know, it's just a thing that you tack on. It's a descriptive. It's not, you know, it's not a whole separate fucking noun. You know, like a lady and a bug are two separate nouns. A ladybug is a completely separate noun. Right? It's not a thing that, you know, those are three separate nouns. Right? So, like, comp time var is, like, comp time should just be a descriptor. Because that's something else that I want to do, is I want to have descriptors for things. I mean, I might do var. I might do const var fun fn. But I don't fucking like fn. I don't like that syntax. I fucking hate that syntax, but like so many people are moving towards it. For some fucking reason I don't understand. I don't get it. Yeah, I'll have to think about it. Because I want to think about like what kind of... I want if... Yeah. $69? Nice. Sometime forward. So I think here we're gonna start doing make sequence. Okay. So we're about to use this ability to implement a generic function. So usize. var I u size times size. So I don't know if I want, like, I could do like in out. I could do, I mean, in out would be something, because there's like in um in GLSL, out asserts that you do not set anything to it, right? Because you can have because technically speaking, you could theoretically have multiple. Like it's kind of like you can have multiple fragments on modifying the same thing, and you don't want to have collision, right? Because um in on a GPU you have, conceptually millions of cores all running asynchronously, right? And you have to wait till all of them are finished with their current with their current job before you can move on to the next step, right? So you end up blocking all the memory. Everything does what it is that they're supposed to do. There is an exception. There are things like atomic operations. So you could do something like and equals in atomic at which point, and that's literally how I'm gonna implement the cool thing in kern. Because there's a few things I need to reconceptualize with kern, right? For one, I need to reconceptualize kern to have, what is it? Oh, my ears are so bad. Oh. Do I just need like a fuck ton of alcohol or something? I don't know. I mean, that'd make me stop caring. Probably wouldn't hurt the pain, but it'd make me care less. Wait. I'm trying to do some calculations in my head. Yeah. Okay. Key type. U size. Time key type. So, is it U size? Oh, but U size is I guess, interesting. Adds key into cast. Non. Return sequence. That's how generic it works. Can I have higher order functions? Interesting. So it takes about almost 2 hours before start getting viewers. And okay. So oh, it is of type. Oh, you said okay, okay, okay. Um, okay, okay, okay. I get it, I get it, I get it, I get it. U size is it's it's an unsigned int of the size of the current pointer size, the bit width of a pointer. This is used so that you have it's just the size of a pointer. U size is U size is size t. U size is just size t, which is the size of a pointer. That's what it is. That's what U size is. U size is size t. So why would you use size t over an int, especially in something like this? It's more about like the expected range. It's your hardware and your operating system and all that are designed for the certain architecture that you are at. So if you are on a 32-bit computer, then everything likes to work in terms of 32 bits. It can still like Zig can still handle 64 bits, 128 bits, 65,536 bit numbers, right? It can handle just fine because it just uses a different set of instructions and ripples them together and cascades them together in order to get the various operations necessary in order to handle it. Same thing with the higher bit width operations with whatchamacallit, with floating point numbers. It is a slightly different set of instructions. Potentially, there's a separate set of instructions when you're dealing with the integer types, the raw numericals, because there's a little bit more of an overhead to make sure that your architecture can handle those natively, right? So say you are running like a supercomputer with massive, a certain chipset with multiple registers, right? Instead of just 4 registers, it has 16 registers, right? Each register can handle a 64-bit number. Well, actually, I think each register handles up to 128-bit. 64-bit architecture has 120-bit registers for division purposes. Yeah, and a bunch of other shit, right? But like, let's say you have 6 instead of 4 64-bit registers, you have 16 64-bit registers. That means that you can handle all the way up to like 256, something like that. Like you can handle huge, like enormous integers by loading into 8 of those 64-bit registers. So it's 64 bytes. So 128. Yeah, it's 1024. But you can do up to 1024 bits. Numbers like just fine, basically. Right. So at least with like addition and stuff, because you are effectively doing a SIMD, and then you can ripple the, and what ends up happening is you end up rippling the carries, the carry flags over. Right. You can also split a single, you can split a register into smaller bits, into individual bytes if you want to. For instance, you can do, if you're doing stuff with individual byte flags, right? Like say you have a color, which is in essence a 24-bit number. You want to add a certain value to all of the numbers, right? All the values. What you do is you do a SIMD, you'd vectorize it. So you'd be adding it byte, because you have a 1 byte per channel. And you do it byte by byte so that you don't have the carryover. You don't have a rippling carry. Fucking shit up. Technically speaking, you can do it anyway. But the color values are going to be a little bit off. Right? They're not going to be quite true. You can get away with it because it's only 1. It's a maximum of 1. But you also have like an overflow, and there's a bunch of other shit to keep in mind. Right. You could do that. Right? You convert the additive feature into a number and just add the two numbers together, and bish bash bosh, Bob's your uncle. Don't need to worry about it. 98% of the time that'll be fine. Right? But you will have to worry about rollover and overflows within each individual channel. Right? So that is something to keep in mind. Again, I need a mouse, I need a better keyboard, I need a better fucking that laptop and a mic. What am I on? What am I on? Oh, interesting. I'm on 7. Has decal. Has field. Has decal. Has field. Type info. Type name. Type up. Has declared. Has decal. Decal spec. I forget what decal spec was. Method declared in their namespace, also known as decals. Decals, decals. So yeah, structs are just namespaces. Kind of, sort of, asterisk. Right? There's like a lot to it. I mean, I could also do. Haha. Ooh. You can also roll this up and roll it down, because I do like that. I don't really know what purpose that has. I think it has something to do with like tiling, because I do want to know how to tile things properly, because that's something that's super useful. A tiling window manager is fucking incredible. But there's also like tilers that you can add on to your window manager, which is also super awesome. What do I have? Do I have... Oh, I do have OTT daemon running. Perfect. I think I finally got that fucking shit running properly. Because, yeah, I just had to go in and add it to the X in it. Right? So I can also do OBS, and I could put OBS here. How's that going? Or the CPU cost. Whoa, look at how much. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing. Give it a lick. Tastes just like raisins. Like a stroke of its mane, it turns into a plane, and it turns like a game when you tug on its winky. Oh, no early internet. Ooh. Alright, cool. So we could do that. For some fucking reason. I mean, this playlist is really chill. I mean, this mix. This mix is really, really chill. I like it. I need more coffee. I don't think that's bacterial. I think that's just dried coffee. Probably. It is very dark. But so is coffee, so something about it's very off-putting now. Oh, yellow. The girl's a dumbass. The girl's not fucking doing things well. The girl's drinking wyvern poison. You'll be fine. Your girl's got +2 in Constitution. Where's her? Water, agua. Necesito agua, mi amigos. Necesito agua. Necesito Constitution. That tastes fine. It's fine. Girl's got +2 in Constitution. And an incredibly fucked up gut. Alright, so what's next? Printing quack. Does we have a decal? Has decal? Can we like inherit shit though? It'd be nice if we could inherit shit. Because hierarchical having a hierarchy is important. Hold up. What if interesting. each branch would have one master thing, and then each branch would have a hierarchy of changes groups within the. So you still have one branch, but you could have categories of changes, which I think would be really good. It'd be really useful. And if it's all delta based, then instead of glob based, because Git is globular, right? It stores the entire state of things. Whenever you make a change, you store an entirely new copy of it. Alright, it would be a lot better. It's not as nice. But like being able to roll back changes, you just follow the chain back. Right? And I might do something along the lines of something similar to a blockchain, is that you have hashes, you have an inheritance chain of hashes. Or you just append the hash of the previous one to the beginning of the first one of the next one. Like, it's not as secure as blockchain, but it doesn't cost any computation. You just fucking do it. It just helps, you know, helps eliminate no, I mean, it's still, like, cryptographically, it's still secure, right? Because making a change in one place will invalidate the whole thing, right? So, like, that's super important to do, right? So, like, it has, like, a parent kind of chain thing. Because, and what you do when you merge is you can, like, inherit from both. Oh, and multi-inheritance. Is this something that we want? What is the purpose of multi-inheritance, and can we solve it with something else? Right, because I like having, basically the way that I like doing things is I just throw out a bunch of features out there, right? And then I run through the implications of those features, and then start trimming the part that I don't, right? I'm very aggressive with that. So, because, like, you can have a lot of really good ideas, but not every good idea is good for your project, right? Because there's a lot of really cool things you could do in a programming language that might not necessarily be good for my program, right? And Zig is actually very close to the language that I want. Zig is very close to Tungsten. I'm just not so sure if I like the syntax grammar. I don't know if I like the grammar. Right? That's part of the reason why that is, like, that's like part of the reason why I want to do things. I want to be very strict with typing. I don't like type coercion. I don't like type inference. Right? I want to make sure that you know the type when you're, because inferring the type of something is usually bad programming. Right? There is very few reasons, especially if I'm getting rid of dynamic typing, there's like no reason that you should not be able to just look at a thing and be able to immediately tell exactly what fucking type a variable is. Here, const quacks like a duck equals, I don't fucking know, dude. Right? I have to know what, like, I have to know ahead of time. Oh, also goodbye. Hash goodbye. Goodbye. Um, right? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know what the fuck. So, and I also don't. I mean, if I do that, if I have and, I mean, I could make the Boolean operators. I could make those operators words. I could make those full ass fucking words rather than bitwise and, bitwise or, bitwise zor, things like that. It would make it way more apparent. And it also frees those symbols up for other uses, which would be fucking awesome. So that's something to keep in mind, right? Because like all of these are things that can be. Because like I might want to write up the documentation for a language first, right? Because like that's something that I want to do too. Like I want to write up the documentation. Effectively, if I write the documentation for tungsten, basically in full, then it means writing the language is fucking trivial, right? And that's like kind of like a big part of it that I want to do. And I want to. I don't know if I'm going to go with Codeberg or if I'm going to go like I might go with Codeberg because GitLab has done a lot of, you know, ooh, power your stuff with AI, yada yada yada. Like I can choose to not use it, but you know, and I also like GitLab because Fox. But I might also end up changing over to Codeberg for other reasons. But again, I also want to make my own version control, specifically for massive projects and for large binaries, so that you can have version control for things like artwork, for 3D models, for whole fucking games and shit, right? Where you have, you know, in like other uses other than just for code. Granted, it will be most useful for code. Version control is most useful for code. But I also feel like a lot of artists do their own version control. You know, they have V1, V2, V3, V4, yada yada yada, and it's like really frustrating. Like I don't like that. I don't like that there's like we have this awesome fucking tool for programmers that can also be useful for fucking artists, and it's not available for artists. Like it is, but it's not, right? Like you can't do a GitHub for fucking your artwork to back up and version control your artwork. Like there kind of is, like in Blender there's some stuff that you can do, but again it's all copies of shit. It's not the same kind of system, and I want to have like I want to build like a plugin that'll like plug into it so that artists and stuff don't have to do anything special. Programmers have a special case. We're already so used to the terminal, unless you're using like Scratch or some shit, but all that's like web-based anyway, so like we're used to these tools. We're used to the CLI, we're used to the TUI. There's not, and since we're already programming, there is very, very, very little argument to say that everything should be a GUI plugin. Right? There are IDE tools that have like built-in Git, you know, built-in Git integration and all that stuff. Things like updating the file, doing things like that. Because like I like having, I would love to be able to, because I'd like to be able to check out subgroups, right? because it'd be nice to like check out subgroups so that I can compartmentalize and organize the kinds of commits that I'm doing. And then the project as a whole is saved as a singular copy. And all that is really sent is the changes. So you just send changes. You have a local separate copy, a local, copy of things. So you only have one copy of the full project and everything. And you can even do the same for the external binary. Version control for the binary. So you have the updated version. Right, you have the current master version. And all the previous versions are just literally a rollback of changes. Right? You could also do like, hey, set this as a save point for, which would be really good for development systems, right? So that there's no like breaking changes or anything like that, and you don't have to download a whole ass new thing. You could just take a diff of the current version and your local version, right? Because there's probably like some metadata and stuff like that, right? So you check your hash, you check the hash of yours, you check the hash of the master, and then it'll say that if that's different, then you walk back and tally up the changes. And then if it goes through, if it exhausts the entire list, then you have an invalid executable, right? Then your executable is invalidated, and it re-downloads the whole thing. It re-downloads from master. And then you're fucking fine. Right? Like, that would work super great. Like, it'd be such a nice version control for executable, for like software in general. You can have like an automatic updater and blah 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 blah. Right? Updaters kind of fundamentally can't be packaged in with the executable itself, because in order to update an executable, you have to. Well, I mean, that's what DLLs are for, right? You have a baseline thing, and then your yeah, and then you can like overwrite the DLL and then reboot, and then it's fine. But usually, what it is that you have two different executables. You have your updater executable, and then you have your runtime executable. Because self-modifying code doesn't fucking look good to any operating system. There is not a single operating system in existence that really likes self-modifying. You could probably make one, right? It'd be kind of fun to do. Like, I would love to have like a free DOS. I would love to have like a free Windows, right? In open Windows. Which would be a DOS-based operating system, because Windows is a DOS-based operating system. It's based off of MS-DOS, and built upon that is the GUI, right? So, right, it just has a different like window manager and shit. So these are random bullshit that I'm spewing out into the fucking ether, which is nice, but yeah. So here we go. Walks like a duck equals has decal. Walk is a duck. So yeah, I do a has decal. Has decal, right? Fuck. With matching name. So prompt time container type. duct, other duct, duct, orbital. Waddle. Non-deck. How do you use deck has deckle? Has deckle. How do you use the fucking has deckle? Has deckle. My type. Has deckle my type. Okay. My type. You're checking if my type has it. And doing again here. Walks like a duck, walks like a duck is a waddle. A waddle away, a waddle waddle. I misspelled it. It would help if I could fucking spell. Alright. Has deckle. So here I'm in insert, but I can delete. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, I don't like that. My type. Bitch. My type. My type. In the middle of my type. My type. In the middle of my type. My type. In the middle of my type. My type. My type. Oh. Click register. Hey, primary clipboard. System clipboard. I mean, I can do all. Which is kind of. But anyway, I can just delete that. And then insert. Because there's a lot of things that I want to be able to do. I want to be able to. There's certain aspects of my workflow that kind of fucking piss me off. Yeah, where's all my messages? Yo? Yeah, where's my messages? Thank you. So it is a duck. Possible duck. If it is duck, then alright. So we have a I still needed an SVG editor so I could do SVGs for the I think I could do SVG. Because if I can do SVGs for the cursor, because there's like certain things you can do, like as you're moving around the cursor it gets bigger. Which is a really good fucking accessibility feature for KDE Plasma. Plasma's fucking great. Plasma is by far one of the greatest fucking desktop environments on the face of the goddamn planet. I'm just not using it because I don't have the resources for it. Right. Like the resource usage for KDE Plasma is kind of high. Right. So there's that. I mean, I still don't like how Like, you can't fucking read that shit for shit. Like, I mean, you can. Like, how hard is it to read on my phone? Like, it's... Like, you can. It's very subtle. Like, on screen, it's super subtle. In real life, it's not super subtle. Serious, guys. Like, it's very apparent on my actual laptop. Okay. So, Zig build. Okay, cool. What a minute, some new one? Alright, so let's see here. Let's use loops in our programs, but we couldn't because the things we were trying to do could only be done at compile time. We ended up doing these things manually. Bah, we are programmers. The compiler should be doing this work. Inline 4. Inline 4 is performed at compile time, allowing you to programmatically loop through a series of items in situations, like those mentioned above, where a regular runtime for loop wouldn't be allowed. Nice, yes. Right. Inline 4. Wait, can I do just like an inline here? Right. An inline 4 is field type. Inline 4... What? Inline 4... Fields? Fields? Oh, actually... Right? A field type. And certain reformatting. The formatter to collapse your fucking structs is your tuples is fucking stupid. That is the dumbest fucking goddamn thing. I fucking hate it when formatters like, oh, this list that you have that's separated on different things. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna put them all on the same line. You should be allowed to format your arrays and list like. You should be able to format. You as a programmer should be allowed to format your list-like objects however the fuck you want, and it should also be as inconsistent as you want. Because it is infuriating. So my formatter is not going to be fucking doing that shit. Tungsten, because I want tungsten to be, like I know of a few other people that are writing their own language, and I still want to work on, like I want to design my own language. I still need to finish Kern up. I don't know if I'm going to be doing, because like I want to get through Zig. I want to finish Kern. I don't know where I'm going to bring Kern though, right? Because again, like I don't see myself restarting. Oh, but if you switch over to the Zig, you're just gonna restart from scratch. Not quite. Not quite. Because this is something that's going to be like, this is something that is, there's certain things that I'm gonna, there are certain things that I'm going to be able to do that I need to be able to do. Man, how many of these do I have left? 4? Right, for pain management. Pain management is a very important thing. That unfortunately gets abused. If something is good for people, then it's going to be abused by people who don't fucking know any better. And it's unfair to remove something because of that abuse. Right? The abuse is the thing that needs to be punished, not the thing that's being abused. It's like public seating in public, water fountains and shit. Like all that's being abused. Like, oh my gosh, homeless people use it. Well, then fucking fix the homeless people. Right? We don't have homeless people because we have public benches. And we shouldn't be removing public benches because of homeless people. Like, it's fucking so irritating. That and also, like, kid-safe spaces are being just systematically removed so that kids are forced to enter adult spaces, which ends up creating regulation for adult spaces to make them child-friendly, which again is the most dogshit way of doing things. It's just a way to control people. It's all about control. It's always been about control. That is a bit metallic. But I think that's more because these are wet mason jars, and not because they're growing bacteria. I think these are tarnishing. Because it's only on areas where metal is. Because none of the other things are doing the same thing. It's just where the metal is. It smells very metallic. And it's also been going up since I've added acid. It's just unfortunate that it's black. That is very concerning. It's right around where the rubber seal is, but that is also right around where the metal is touching. I don't know, I'll just keep an eye on it. But I also don't want to, like, as long as I wipe it off frequently, I think it'll be fine. I'll keep an eye on it. It should have a low enough pH to inhibit the growth of anything else. Should is the opposite. Again, your girl's a dumbass. And didn't fully do her fucking research. Didn't do prior research. But we shall see how things go. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so this is nice. Because it's inline for loop. So inline for loops are really good. See, for loops are, especially in video games, for loops are used to iterate over containers at, well, like, obnoxiously so. And I also want to do, because there's a rat. There's this concept of, let's go over the concept of a rat, right? What is a rat? So let's do a little bit of a generator, right? What is this BS? Okay, so we have I'm gonna do something that's like really terrible, right? So we have a struct and let's do some ziggisms. So let's get a little ziggy with it. So one of the things that we can have, like a pause X and a pause Y and a pause Z and a rot X, rot Y, rot Z, right? A simple struct of some kind, right? So in memory, right? In memory, that's not flashbang, everyone. Right? In memory, we have, you know, these things, right? So these are like broken up in memory like this. So right. So we have, these are broken up in here, right? So if you have a so if you have one single item, right, then you have it like this. And if you want to index into it, you know, because we have, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? We have that. And then if we copy it and we come over here and we paste it, right? We have very strange shit going on there. That's fine. What we have is we have these bits of data stacked like this, right? And your computer, when doing stuff, will have a hard time. Yeah, let's do it. Right. So your computer, when reading it, will have to go, let's do something a little bit fancy here, right? Or yeah, let's do a little fancy Rich McGee over here. And you spell chauffeur, right? So say that we have some code. All right, let's go back into here. In execution, some execution, right? Where we have A plus plus B plus plus C plus plus D plus plus E plus plus F, or let's actually do a thing. So let's do something. We have the idea of, you know, 4 STC STC item item plus plus. Right, that's like shit, but whatever. Right, we have this. So since we have this kind of thing here, right? This is the this is the code that we're doing, right? So let's take a look at how this would go. Okay, so for SDC, well, actually, let's do a little bit of something different, right? So we have, do we have a 4? Rux OBJ. For item item plus plus. Right, if we have this code, and again, I'm just using Zig syntax because I'm working with Zig. Might as well switch over to Zig. Hard switching to Zig. I like Zig until I write. Until, that is, I start writing. That is until I make tungsten. I'm going to be doing everything in Zigisms because I want to do a bunch of stuff. Because I want to do Raylid. I want to... Tonight, I'm going to go back to working on Kern, hashing out some of the math stuff. Because there's a few things that I need to work out. Because the energies are getting turbo fucked, right? The illumination energies are getting turbo fucked. Like, things are just getting, like, averaged out. Crazy and weird. So this is our set of instructions. So for object, and because we don't know like what the items are. So we can go, okay, let's go A, B, C, D, E, F, A, B, C, D, E, F, right? And this does work well. Because the items that you're dealing with go through, right? But a lot of the times you have systems like everything that has A, right? And that's fine. But what if I want to only say that's for if I know I'm doing something to every item, then that's fine. But what if I know that I'm only going to do everything to everything that to every A? Then I have to go here, then I have to jump over here, and then I have to jump over here, and then I have to jump over here. Right? It'd make a lot more sense if I could do something like this. we could do this, and then you could say, oh, hey, let's just do everything that has to do with A, and then everything that has to do with B, and then everything that has to do with C, and then everything that has to do with D, and then everything that has to do with E, and then everything that has to do with F. Right? You can do that. That is the thing that you can do. Right? This is a rack. It's a struct of arrays, rather than an array of structs. Right? So if you're doing something like physics with a bunch of physics objects, you do, you update, your, let's do a little bit of a window thing here, right? And then, right, do that. Let's do that, right? Because we can say, hey, we want to update the X position, the Y position, the Z position. Right? Because normally you'd go X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, blah, and then go to draw with the rotations, right? It's a lot better. And then update the rotations. It's a lot better if you could just say X, Y, Z, right, and then the rotation. That's just how it's better for like cache locality and a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of arguments for structive arrays versus array of structs. And it just depends on what it is that you're using. For instance, it's a lot better to package like you would want to have as primitive of a type as possible as your base array and stuff like that, right? So like there's a lot of things like that are like important to keep in mind and stuff. So I'm still a little bit concerned about the state of I don't know. I might be making myself sick. It's only botulism, right? It goes fine. It literally doesn't taste accurate or anything. It smells a little bit metallic. But again, I'm also snooping a thing of metal. Of course it's gonna fucking smell metallic. Ooh, this metal thing smells metal. Ooh, I wonder why. Ooh, get to the job. Alright. So yeah, we have that. So that's fucking cool. Inline for loops. Super dope. Super sick. Super serious. Okay. Cool. Let's go here. Play that. Let's do. I need to change my fucking tags. I need to change my tags. I need to change the tags on my channel. I also feel like I need to turbo double down on stuff. Because I need to get in touch with some people. Because I need to have like an actual fucking discussion about tungsten with like other people who know how to write a fucking language and shit. Like how, like I need to like sit down and actually talk to people who know, like, who are at the level of language architectural design, right? Because that is something that's very important. So let's let's go into FG. Hold on, I didn't even look at what the fuck that was. Clear. Zig build. I don't think I built yet. Yeah, no, I didn't. Uptime 6. Cool. Uptime 7 into 72. Let's take a look. Okay. 72. Instructions. What's instructions? Here is a string containing a series of arithmetic operations in single-digit decimal values. Let's call each operation and digit pair instruction. Content. And inline while. There's also an inline while. Inline while foo length I less than that. Yeah, so the while loops. So for loops are more for, because in C++, for and while loops, pragmatically, while loops in, like, because the idea is like for 1,000, right? For int I, do something. You use for loops when you want to do something 1,000 times. Here you use a while loop if you want to do something 1,000 times, right? Or use a for loop if you want to have what iteration number you're on. If you want to iterate something. In C++, you use a for loop. Here, if you want to iterate over an object, right? Going to iterate over a container, use a for loop. In C++, you use a for loop. In C++, you very rarely ever use a while. Usually, a while loop is reserved for when you have an internal condition, right? When you have an internal condition of things, but there's a lot of... C++ is full of boilerplate. I want C++ without the boilerplate. Because C++ is very, very, very clear that you're dealing with memory. And that is all that you're doing. You're just manipulating memory. You're just manipulating information and memory addresses. That's the only fucking thing that you're doing in C++. And I love that idea. I fucking love that. I love that that is the idiomaticity of, that's the pragmatism, that's the idiomacy of C++, is that you are changing data at memory addresses. You're changing information in memory. You're changing data in memory. That is the only thing you're doing, right? And you are just building abstractions on top of that. And I want Tungsten to basically do the same, right? I want Tungsten to be very memory forward, dealing with memory. So I want to have the grammar to be driven by the ideology that you are manipulating memory at you're manipulating data within memory. Because that is what you're doing, right? Fundamentally, that's what you're doing. I want to be very open and clear about that. Fuck, I wish I had more people that I could talk to about this shit. God damn. Sound like a fucking cat. Alright. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna end up dumping all my shit. Dumping the rest of this fucking coffee. I also really gotta use the bathroom. What time is it? 30:43, so 3 more minutes. Or 10 more minutes. Well, I mean, here in about 5 minutes. Well, I'm at 10, so in about 5 minutes. I should get a warning. And in about 7 minutes, it should start. Yeah, in about 7 minutes, I should get here. In a couple minutes, we'll get a warning, and then things will start. Um, yeah, I feel like I need to throw all that shit away. Because I think I skunked my batch of coffee. And then I just need to go through and clean everything. Which is fine. And put the bowls in the... I have plenty of shit to do. But I can do that after I'm done with things. Yeah, I am going to be working... I'm going to be streaming a lot. Like, a metric fuck ton. I do want to be streaming tomorrow morning. I want to be streaming tonight. Fucking throw my ass into the wall. Streaming a lot. Because I really want to double down and work my ass off. I mean, I kind of don't have a choice, so it's great. So, let's see. Yeah, well, I mean, is this... Oh, wow. Well, I mean, this is... It is inline while. I know that that's the thing, but I want to know... So, for... So because I want to know why, I'm going to say inline, right? I'm going to put inline up here. I should be able to do that. Because white spaces don't fucking matter. So inline while yeah, I plus plus. Alright, yeah, this should be good. Expected expression found while I prompt time var plus plus. Are you... Oh no. Oh no, I don't like that. I want my plus plus, motherfuckers! Increment and decrement. I really need to pee. I need to pee so bad. Yeah, I think I fucking skunked my shit. Isn't that good? I need to work on that. I just need to solve things. Clean out the coffee stuff. I have some clean shit I need to... Done at we're at runtime. At first, this doesn't seem acceptable, but it's quite a bit more upsetting than it first appears. The inline while no longer exists at runtime, and neither does anything else not touched directly by runtime code. The instruction string, for example, does not appear anywhere in the compiled program because it's not used. Okay. But also the switch might be a little interesting. So this is a parser. I feel like I'm gonna learn a fucking assload going through this. Cool. So in 5 minutes. Oh, in 1 minute. None. In a minute. In 1 minute. Interesting. Cool. That's good. Good. Okay, cool. So it is okay. But I want to find out what the compile time, what the compilation error is. So I know I'm doing it wrong. I specifically am doing it wrong for a reason. I'm specifically doing it wrong. Because I want to do it wrong. And I keep clipping my fucking audio for some reason. It's pissing me off. I kind of want to just do. Like, I know that there's a. Well, I mean. I can put another filter on the end. Right? I can put another compressor. And max it out. And make it so that it's like at 5 or something. Close. Alright, I can do that. And then, yay, I won't clip my audio! Almost. Very close to it. I won't clip it. I think I have to try a lot harder. No, not really. I need a fucking pee, though. So let's go to the next little bit here. Right. So take a look. What is it going to throw? Cannot store two comp time variable in non-inline code. Okay. So go back to the foreground. So because this is, since comp time var is up here. Oh shit. Interesting. So the reason why I don't like, I have a lot of issues with having, because like a lot of the times, like I want to be able to specify I would love to have I would love to have this, but I would love to have I would love to have a time var. Right. I would love to have comp time var. Here. That kind of thing while comp time var. Right. Being able to declare something like that within things and being able to do things, and then like having or like having a, you know, a comp time var I equals 0. Right? Here, right? Something like that, right? While var I. Right? Doing something along these lines, having like a chain of things while. Obviously that's not something that you can do here, but would be nice. If you could. Be very nice. If that was idiomatic. If that was part of the idiomacy of Zip. Would be very nice. Anyway, so if we have all this stuff, right? So this should build. I mean, a lot of this stuff is things that can only be shown. Hello, Zoomy. Hello. Hello. Hi. Hello. How is MR? Hello. Yeah. I did that on purpose. Yeah. I don't, however, have the CPU. It's not showing the. Your name is also Ketu? Really, I thought it was Zoomy. Two. Grab symbol, CPU, upper auto. Total, auto. Invert lower, true, false. No. True. CPU single graph. False. Show GPU, auto. Check temp, true. CPU center, auto. Show core temp, or map. Okay. Scale Celsius. but it's not showing me the CPU name. Okay. Frustrating. It's old as shit. Yeah, I don't know why it's not doing the stuff. But it should be showing the doobly-doo with the doobly jam. Anyway, back to here. So my brain is not braining right now. Okay. Overflow of integer type. U8 with value minus 16. None. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Why is this not working? Yeah, you're subtracting 0 from it so you can get the actual numbers. You're getting the offset from 0 because of the way that all the numbers and shit work. Digit equals I plus 1. Plus minus 0. Oh, plus equals 2. Right? Well, actually plus equals 3. Yeah, I needed the plus equals 3. It needs to, because it's splitting it up into known. It's splitting it up into known parts and all that. Right. I'm gonna be doing like interesting. I could do has field. Is that how you like build virtual? And hmm. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Cool. Um, llama counts. 73. Interesting. Time llama. Good bot. Good bot. Very good. So get llama. So what are we doing at llamas here? Um, what is it? Yak and bison. Because like I'm still like I want to think about writing a compiler, right? But I also need to write compilers for because I also need to write a better runtime and stuff like that. Because I want because the only smart thing within everything is literally just um the the wire, right? The wire compiler, the AOT. The AOT should be the only smart compiler. It should be the only smart tool, right? Because it will also emit the LSP and the formatter and all that stuff, right? So that other, external tools can just hook into it and just be fucking whatever, be fine. Because having 30 billion different, third-party tools for something is really fucking stupid. And I think having, like I feel like, I don't want to staunchly disallow third-party compilers and stuff, but I would expect there to be far fewer from it. And, the project as a whole being much more open and collaborative and community driven. Um, I would expect there to be a very similar thing of a bunch of different flavors and a bunch of different, things like that. Very, um, I think I got it. My lap is fucking toasty. Change that. Oh, what is in my view? Okay. So what is the known interfile time? What can you do with the I parameter above to make this so? Non uptime out. Actually, should be able to just do uptime. Right. Uptime out. This assert function is identical to STD debug assert from the Zig standard library. Okay. Assert. Hmm. Interesting. Okay. Um, should be it. Shit. If not okay, unreachable. Oh, because I set it to be unreachable. Interesting. That's cool. Okay. So back to the foreground. So what's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Long count. Sometime get long. Get long 5. Hmm. Um. Because what we can do here is we can do llama count. Llama count. One. That's not nice, yeah. Because we want, I want the compiler. Right, I want the compiler to do as much work as possible. I want the runtime to be fucking dumb. Right. I want the runtime to basically be able to just blindly follow instructions, not have to think about anything. Right. Because well-formed instructions, should be fun. Like that's kind of the whole point. So the compiler should be doing the heavy lifting. What is the memory one-time memory management? Where's it? What is the ZIG memory runtime memory management? Because I could boot up Firefox. Yeah, I could launch Firefox here. What is ZIG's runtime memory management? Is it like manual? Explicit, allocator driven, and manual. Requires the developer to pass an allocator instance to any function requiring heap memory. This avoids hidden allocations, garbage collection, and default allocators, providing total control and transparency over allocation strategies. So, yeah, I want it to be like I want Tungsten to be a full spectrum language. I want it to be from lowest level to highest level, and just allow developers to, like, it starts at the high level and it just allows developers to dig deeper, right? Because, right, like there is a reason why a lot of developers kind of bounce back, because, like, I just want to illuminate for you. Like, I don't want to have people do things. Yeah, I think my coffee is completely done. That sucks. Yeah, I don't think I was able to lower the pH fast enough, pardon me. Oh, which kind of means I'm gonna have to do something about that. And, like, sterilize and sanitize and do a bunch of shit with these jobs. And try to do something else with my coffee. The other thing I'm gonna have to talk about. Which kind of sucks. But we'll be doing something along those lines. I just have to wait and see until I can get some more. I need more vinegar though. Like, I need a lot of vinegar in order to, like, really plummet the pH. I need to do it immediately. I got something. That's for another time, I guess. I definitely want the baking soda. So, right. arena teardown. So here's the thing about memory management. A lot of time, like, there's kind of like, because like basically what I want to do is I want to be able to, like, every time that you enter a scope, right? Whenever you go into a scope, you end up basically raising an arena. You set all your parameters and stuff in it, and then when the scope closes, you tear down the arena. Right? This is something that's pretty common. There might be a case where rapid allocation alloc stuff is kind of really, really bad. Because if you have a very, very, very tight loop that's allocating and deallocating memory, that's like fucking dog shit. Right? I mean, granted, there's ways of saying that you pre-allocate, and then at the end of that scope, you tear down everything closes, which is probably like the better way of doing things anyway, right? That's more like idiomatic and stuff. It's more like, yeah, because like I can't think of a reason why you would want to have a very, very tight loop of actual allocation and actual deallocation. Right. Like harsh Dalek and Alec, like Alec Dalek, is something that I don't really see very much. Right. So like that's something that I don't really know. And like a lot of it is like thinking about like the heap allocation and all that stuff. Like I don't know if I need to explicitly like I don't know if I need to understand, like I don't know if the end user, like the end programmer, needs to necessarily know how like the heap and stack actually operate under the hood. It would be nice to be able to like write your own allocators and stuff, because the allocators and deallocators will have like all the stuff that they deal with. So you have allocation and deallocation, and I think it is. The thing is that the reason why these programming languages have such strong, like why there's so much shifting between programming languages and like language hopping, is that is because there are no full spectrum languages, right? Like we have something very similar to that in C++, where it is a higher level language with access to very low level language operations, right? With like, I think it has like assembly interop and things like that. So you have access to incredibly low level systems with a lot of higher order abstractions. The build system for C++ is fucking dog shit. The memory manager for C++ is fucking dog shit. And that's why you start seeing things like Rust, which is a very high level language. And that's part of the reason why people love it so much. Like it's a high level systems language, which I think is very neat. That usually those two things don't belong in the same sentence. There's a lot of reasons why I don't like Rust. It's literally fighting with the fucking borrow checker. is agony. Not having a high level language and not have access to things like operator overload is fucking beyond me. Right? Whole point of operator overloading is to hide functionality. Same thing with like implicit casting and things like that. I don't think I necessarily want implicit casting, except for like Boolean coercion. The pattern of if function do function, right, is something that is like incredibly useful. I might actually boil that up because that pattern of because like the pattern of right, like the pattern of if if you have like you have like a function, like a function pointer foo, right, and if you do if foo foo, right, this kind of pattern is very popular, right, right, like yeah. Yeah, if foo foo, right, and this is super popular. So it might be, it would probably be pretty nice if I could just say, foo, question mark, that. Right? Basically saying like if it's not null, then fucking run it. And like foo is of type, function pointer. Right? That is a pattern that is very common in like C++ and other like systems languages. Like, hey, if this function pointer, is like if this is a valid function pointer, then do a thing. If if this thing exists, do a thing. There's like a few other times when like you need something a little bit more full, but like especially for function pointers in general, they're like callables and stuff like that is so good. It is so very good. And that's the kind of thing about like different kinds of like operators and stuff. Because there's like bracketed, there's like container operators. And being able to like define all these operators and what they do and stuff is something that I think is very, very potent and very, very powerful. You can turn tungsten into something far fucking worse than tungsten. I feel like people are going to make like a brain fuck tungsten. Not because it's useful, but because you can. Right? And like that's kind of like the thing about, like Lisp, where you have this programming manifold, right? You have this like ecosystem that exists, and you are kind of interacting with this manifold rather than actually programming. I do want to do yeah, because like Zig has full manual systems, right? A full manual memory management paradigm, which I don't know if I like or not. Right? Like that's something that I don't necessarily want to deal with too much. So like that's a thing. But I mean we'll see. We'll see. Um yeah. Anyway, one of the things that I want to do here, right? So we have the assert. We have the assert llama time. I think this is 74. No, what's my attempt set? 92, 91? Come on. Nanda. ¿Por qué? 74, correct? Come now. Alright. Yeah. So, what's going on here? It is type expression found, blah, G, blah, blah, blah. So, this is a fill in the blank. Because I could do. What? Oh, what is it? That? There we go. So G to what? Compile error. Let's just stop the build immediately. Something's wrong. But prints a message instead of inspecting that. Does it join with other? What happened with my search bar? In the start of the llama. So we have a mouse llama and a game. Alright. And run the at comp time. It takes a short code describing the desired feature. The mouse is represented by M, and a llama is LM. A mouse llama hybrid then would be represented by MLM. Multi-level marketing. Ah. I've used the power of Zig to make animal hybrid creatures. What do you think a gator mouse would look like? Eek! Heck, heck, heck. So... Oh, okay. State equals .out. Expected in a file from that. Oh no, an incomplete. Just missing an animal. Format turning to short. This make creature call will only succeed. Comp time values with runtime values will never match. Font picture. Two of the variables and make two comp time and two of the variables. Or to abuse the powers to make animal hybrid creatures. A gator mouse with hook. I mean, I could throw an error at Gator if I wanted to. Um, compile error message. Gators cannot be used to fuse. I mean, I could do that, or I could just say, there's something else going on here. Right? 71 M. Yes, state state full dot start. Next animal. Animals, next animal, no. Next animal. So state-based, state-driven, state machine-driven. Do. Interesting. If I could do that, save, zig, build. I mean, I am starting to get pretty geeky. And, Um, right. I mean, I like to do something different, but I'm also kind of running out of steam. I mean, I've been at this for about 4 hours, so I think that's pretty good. Minus the little hiccup in the beginning. I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna take care of a few things, and I will be back later on tonight.